Let me set the stage real quick. We all thought that Race and Rescue was dead. Yeah, there were going to be a few re-releases in early 2026, but we had fully accepted Race to Celebrate as the next expanded universe line, and we were good to roll with it. And then Mattel said, not quite yet, and released a ton of new Race and Rescue stuff. A new playset, a new Track Talkers set, a new Mack that I just reviewed the other day. It's actually pretty cool. You can check out that link in the description below. And of course, the singles with accessories that we will be taking a look at today. There's also a 4-pack that I reviewed with Red. He's exclusive to that set. And these are the 6 singles that we are getting. Now, there was precedent for the expanded universe line to go away and, out with the old and with the new. Like, we didn't get a GRC Mack last year. We didn't get a second revitalization for GRC. Like, it was done. There were a couple re-releases. In fact, they canceled Lewis, Nigel, Rip. They canceled all of those in the GRC paint schemes and went full bore with Race and Rescue. Now, maybe over at Mattel, they think Race and Rescue is better, it's more popular, and so they're sticking with it for a little bit. Maybe they saw last year it was good, like it was popular, and they're like, let's just continue to roll with this in a sideline. Let's replace the glow racers, get those out of there, throw these on the shelves. Now we're going to see how they sell. Seems like so far so good. They do have slightly different paint schemes, which we will dive into today. Now, I did review in that 4-pack McQueen, Sally, Sarge, and of course Red already. However, I have to open up this Sally single because she comes with an exclusive fire hydrant accessory that is not included in that 4-pack. She has a different accessory, like some cones in the 4-pack. So that's kind of annoying that I have to open her again. But yeah, now it gives us a chance to take a look at the artwork, the whole packaging here, which is actually pretty nice. They did update the card art for each character to reflect their new paint jobs. So you can see Sally has the brighter yellow, as I'm calling it, radioactive paint jobs. But the cones on the roof are pretty much the same. All of these have massive choking hazards. They do all say new for 2026 because Mattel wants you to know that, yes, they're new because you very well could be mistaken. You could very well think that they're not new because they look almost identical to their previous iterations. But I do love the packages. We're back to full blisters that encapsulate the cars and not just streamlined stuff. And that is standard for expanded universe stuff that's outside the main line. We see that with the Race to Celebrate light-ups, Glow Racers, NASCAR, etc. And on the back, they do show Sally with her fire hydrant. Don't park in front of one of those. #1 cardinal rule, at least here in the US. And yeah, you actually have a pretty good look at the new Race and Rescue logo, which I like. It's a little bit more saturated. Like I said, a little bit more radioactive, a little nuclear with the heightened yellow/green. Here we have Sarge. Speaking of heightened yellow/green, I actually thought he was my favorite from the 4-pack because he looked the most different. The plastic on him, which is the bottom half there, and the hood, that is also a much different color from his previous release, so I appreciated that. And yeah, whereas McQueen, Sally, and even Red, very, very similar to their 2025 mainline releases. Fortunately, I don't have to open up a Sarge because there were a couple flames that were included in that 4-pack. They're nice. I mean, they stand up and they kind of bobble and wobble. Good stuff. These all look to be like international style card backs because they only show you the character you're holding on the back, whereas typically they would show you all the other cards you could collect, like with the Race to Celebrate light up stuff. So that's a little interesting there that is just not the case. Moving on to, let's actually just get the other 4-pack car out of the way, which is McQueen here. So yeah, I really just want to show you his artwork. That's the only thing that's really noteworthy. Like I said, I already reviewed McQueen, Sally, Sarge, and of course Red, who is not getting a single release because I guess Mattel was like, he's too big. I don't know. Maybe they would do Red as a single because he is downscaled now. And these are like $649, something $699 at Target. They are kind of pricey. The Race to Celebrate light ups are $7.49 at Target, $7.99 at Meijer. So it's no fun. Like, it is no fun out there collecting some of this expanded universe stuff. All right, here's the first one that you can only get as a single. You can't get in the 4-pack, and that is Luigi and Guido. I'm glad that they came back out of everyone because I actually like them, especially Guido. I found him to be really cute with the hat and all that, even if it doesn't make much sense. Don't like the flag on Luigi still, but it is what it is. And yeah, they actually look pretty good, kind of metallic almost. So I'm interested and excited to open them up here, which I will be doing momentarily. And they come with a freestanding fire extinguisher. So it looks the same as what Sarge has been carrying, but a little bit bigger and obviously not affixed to anything, just completely freestanding. So that's cool. Looking forward to that. It feels weird, but yeah, Mattel is not in that 4-pack, so you can only get him as a single. So probably Kathy over there will be the rarest of these, and Luigi and Guido, Mattel, they'll compete for second rarest. I found plenty of McQueen, Sarges, and Sallys, but these three have definitely been harder. It makes sense because of the 4-pack. But yeah, Mattel comes with a cone we'll take a look at here. His artwork's been updated, a lot bluer, a lot more of a pure ocean blue, I would say. I really don't know why they're doing these. I really don't. It just, to me, shows such a lack of creativity because they are just slightly tweaked designs of what we already got. Here's Kathy Copter. And also the quality control sucks. Like, I found a few of these and I really had to examine them before I made a decision on which ones I wanted to open, because here is another Kathy Copter I found, and you can see that there's a massive chip there on the gray circle. There's another massive chip underneath the Race and Rescue logo, and that's just one car I'm showing you as an example. I will spare Mattel the embarrassment of showing them all the other cars in this line that I found damaged. So just keep that in mind when you're buying these. If you have options, keep it in mind. Kathy comes with a fire barrel. I do like the concept art there because it looks very animated. Like, it doesn't look like the item at all. And we've seen these fire barrels included with Demolition Derby characters in the past. So we'll see how much it differs, but it does look like it might be taken directly from one of those. So we'll do a little comparison there. But yeah, I'll be right back with these three opened up. So that was actually 4. I forgot for a split second. I had to open Sally to get this little fire hydrant out of the package. Okay, it's kind of cool, and maybe I can incorporate it into my Radiator Springs town somehow, although I never saw a fire hydrant in the town during any of the movies, so I guess they just solely rely upon Red, but he is the GOAT, so I get it. Now, maybe I'm putting on my conspiracy hat, my tinfoil hat here, but it does feel to me that Mattel is moving away from racing themes, which feels completely contradictory to the spirit of cars. 3 examples. We didn't get anything more for GRC, which is a racing expanded universe line, right? They brought back Race and Rescue, but they axed anything from Rally Race. The Rally Race side of it, nothing more from that. Okay, you got the re-release of the Chick and McQueen 2-pack and Danny and Cruz, but that to me doesn't count. All this extra stuff, the playset, the singles, the Mack, the 4-pack, the track talkers are all rescue themed. And reason number 3, Race to Celebrate also has nothing to do with racing. At least until maybe the book comes out here in a few weeks or whenever it comes out. But yeah, let's dive in here, guys. I have some cool prototypes of all of these except for Sally to show you guys. So stay tuned for that. I am very curious even myself. I haven't done any comparisons. I want to see how different they are from the finalized versions. But we're just going to start with Sally's fire hydrant. Now, since I've done a lot of content on all this stuff at this point, right? I've done the 4-pack and then I've done my ranking of everything in December before I knew they were doing more stuff. I did my individual review on the original Sally. So you can check out all those videos if you want in-depth comparisons on this stuff and learn more how Sally is similar to other versions of her, like Sally with Conan and all that. But for this video, we want to focus on what's different for Kathy, Mater, Luigi, and Guido, since I hadn't really touched on those yet. So I will just show you a quick little turning here of Sally, and then we'll take a look at, well, actually, let's take a look to see when she was made, and then we will take a look at her compared to the 4-pack version. So the 70th day of 2026, okie dokie. The other one was made on the 31st day, so quite a bit later. I guess not super duper late, but yeah, I mean, it makes sense because the 4-pack came out significantly earlier, came out like over a month earlier, and I'm not really seeing any noticeable differences between the two. So 4-pack version on the left, single version on the right. But yeah, you can see a little imperfection right there on the bumper. Just be careful when you're buying these. These are too expensive to, you know, get home, open it up, and realize that it's chipped. Like, that should not happen. These are too expensive for that to be acceptable. Like on a Hot Wheels car, maybe. But actually, Hot Wheels cars have better quality control. So here you go. You have your fire hydrant. I don't see really any engravings on it like you see with some plastic accessories, and the fact that they painted it all one color instead of making the nozzles gray or silver kind of sucks. Like, it'd be cool to see these nozzles in gray or silver to split up the coloring. It's whatever, right? It feels like an advent calendar type of accessory, and if they were still doing mini racer advent calendars, which I'm glad they're not, I could totally see this being one of those like day accessories. This feels like a good day 7 type of item, right? All right, let's jump over to Mater here. So let's bring over the original Mater, and the award at the end of the video is going to go to who is the most different out of all of these race and rescue radioactives, right? All right, so Mater, eyes are a little bit higher. Can already clock that. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the teeth on some of the Maters I found, and they were like banged up. It's like, dude, what are we doing? What are we doing? These are like $7 cars. Let's figure it out. But yes, everything's brighter. So you can see the side view mirrors are a much brighter blue, which looks cool. And yeah, like I said, the saturation, they basically just dialed up the saturation on the race and rescue logo. So brighter blue, brighter yellow, slightly brighter red. It looks good. Like, it stands out. Maybe, yeah, I mean, it's not as realistic because it looks a little goofy, a little cartoonish. But yeah, it kind of plays into like the, I mean, there's no story behind this. I'm trying to rationalize it in my head canon. And yeah, that's, I don't make enough money to start to come up with explanations for Mattel on how this fits into the race and rescue story, which there really is none besides that book that came out last year, which doesn't even seem like it correlates with the diecast line, because there were a lot of characters in the book that they didn't do as diecast, and there were characters in the book that didn't have the paint jobs that Mattel released them with. So is what it is. So you can see the trim around the fenders is the brighter blue. The stripes are the kind of snot green. Same thing with the wheels. And you have the race and rescue logo again. You have the checkered board or checkered flag pattern within the snot green here on the back, which is new. These do have working tow hooks, so you can tow around McQueen, which is actually a great feature. I have to give them that. And yeah, a lot of these side view mirrors come with these rough corners. It's really hard to find any without the rough corners, and this goes all the way back to, like, yeah, many other versions of Mater. Bright blue sirens there on the roof compared to the navy blue. He now has more of a transparent, slight blue tint light bar up there. Previously it was yellow. So they did change what they wanted to. You know, everything here looks pretty much the same. A 113 license plate. Yeah, I mean, it's just is what it is. Remember, though, that this here was made in Thailand, and now all these are made in China. So there might be some differences that are more attributable to that change. The fact that, again, now we're producing these in China and not Thailand, rather than like an intentional difference, which I think, you know, the expression, for example, might be a part of that. But yeah, he looks fine. I like the brighter blue. The blue looks good. That is what I will remember Mater for. All right, jumping to Luigi and Guido, who arguably have the best accessory in the fire extinguisher, which they did color in 3 different colors. So I don't know why they couldn't do that for the fire extinguisher. I mean, they don't have to do it for the cone. Like, you get a pass. You can make the cone all orange. No one's going to say anything. You can make the flame all one color. Nobody's going to say anything. But for these other accessories, like this is the one that they put in the 4-pack for red, this hose extender, which actually fits on red. I will show you guys that if I remember at the end of the video. So I don't know why. Yeah, the fire extinguisher is colored. The fire hydrant should be. And this is actually really cool. The silver nozzle on the top looks really good, like really clean. And yes, there is a slot right there for Mr. Guido to hold it. Like, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Now, how is he going to pull the trigger up here? I don't know. Maybe he sticks it underneath his hat and pushes it into his hat. Maybe. Like he does something like this. Like, yeah, I don't know. Again, trying to headcanon stuff that just doesn't have the foundation to be correct. But it does look cool. And yes, compared to Sarge's, it's bigger. The nozzle is silver instead of gray, which is great. So have to give Mattel credit for that. Probably the best accessory of the bunch. And yeah, it just looks good with, you know, what you call race and rescue. So here's your original race and rescue Guido from last year. Now this, you know, along with Mater, along with McQueen, they did get new Chinese variants in the main line earlier in the year. I think they stopped the race and rescue stuff around case D. I know case C had Morgan Martins in it, which was great. He was gone. And then, yeah, I think you saw D with Luigi and Guido. And that was pretty much it. You know, Mater had already come and gone. McQueen had come and gone. They did not bring back Sally. They did bring back Sarge, and they did bring out Kathy Copter, but Kathy ended up being an international only exclusive in case D. So I think the last race and rescue stuff was in case E. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe F. Maybe there was a McQueen in F, but I think E was the last one. I think Luigi and Guido were in that case. Maybe Mater was too. Kathy was in D, which the full version of did not hit the US. So that version of Kathy is going to be the rarest single of the year. I'm just going to tell you, 2026, the rarest single of the year, if you ask me, is going to be Race and Rescue Kathy Copter. Believe it or not, it is. And so yeah, new Chinese variant of her, rarest car of the year. All right, yes, so Luigi and Guido. Guido specifically. So the hubcaps, the fenders, I should say, are now like a bright radioactive green. The helmet's a little bit darker red. It's got the new logo up there. I do like that they changed the more primitive race and rescue logo here on his side from a red and yellow to a blue and yellow. Like it fits his paint job, I think, a little bit more. So that looks good. And he's kind of like a metallic, which we are going to see in my prototypes. And it's getting overlooked on some of these, but they have much more of like a shiny kind of metallic paint than the originals did. Like this is just like a flat blue. And now you're basically getting metallic versions of these characters, which I think many of us would just opt for like regular metallic Luigi and Guido. Like just give me a naked Luigi and Guido metallic and I will be way happier than I am now. Also, blue trim on the bottom instead of red. This guy was made on the 66. Oh no, that's a lot of sixes. Oh my goodness. Can't stare at that too long. That's too many sixes. When was this guy made? Not that it matters, but I'm curious now. Doesn't even look like he has a date stamp. Oh, my Thailand Guido does not have a date stamp. Okay. Okay. Now, I don't know why, but I'm feeling like Luigi might be my favorite because you could really see how much more metallic his paint is than anybody else. Although it does kind of land in this like mustard, Dijon mustard, snot mucus color, which isn't great, but it'll work. Yeah, I kind of like the color actually. It'll work, like I said. He now has blue trim over both fenders, whereas before he just had the red trim over the back fender. Yeah, he's got the caution flag. They should have swapped out what was on the flag. That would have been easy enough, I'd say. It's kind of a darker red, which we saw on Luigi Guido's helmet, I should say. Race and rescue there. That text looks good. I feel like I had a complaint about the text on Luigi last year. I'm trying to remember what the problem was. The text was a lot clearer, though, I would say, on the original here on the right. There are your coordinates for the original Ferrari factory in Italy, 445-108, Carburetor County. I still don't love his design, though, like just the trunk back here being red. It feels like such a confined, arbitrary space to color in without there being any other red. Like, why don't you do red all the way up the middle? Like, I think that would look cool. But nah. Was this guy also made on the 66th day of 2026? No, he was made on the 668th day instead of the 66th day. Wow. Okay, 2 days later. He's got the Fiat trademark there. Cool. Yeah, I think he looks quite a bit different, which is a good thing. Different is good. And last but not least is going to be Kathy Copter, who also, I'd say, looks pretty different. Where is my original Kathy? She's up here. So yeah, original Kathy was in case Z of last year, so the final case, along with Cal Weathers, who Cal Weathers is now going to be quite rare from the rally race side of things, since he didn't come back this year. Whereas Danny, Cruz, McQueen, and Chick did through the 2-pack. So who else is going to become rare from last year? Probably like Jackson Storm, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. So yes, her cap, which is the plastic piece, and the landing gear, which are plastic, are this bright blue, which kind of matches Mater. They have very similar paint schemes in general, so it makes sense that they went that direction. You know, the navy blue corresponds to Mater's old version. I feel like she's got a bigger smile now. That's probably just me. And now she has the checkerboard pattern throughout the quote-unquote radioactive green. One thing that's weird to me, though, is that it doesn't carry over down the tail. Like there's just a break and then it resumes on this side. Like it feels a little fragmented that way, that it doesn't come over the top or the bottom for that matter. Instead, they slapped the beautiful date stamp there, the 64th day of 2016. Man, look how big that hole is. Holy cow, that is deep. All right. You do have the spotlight here, which of course we saw her use in Cars 1. Might be a camera too, but I feel like it's just a light. Maybe it's a camera. But yeah, not much change with her. But she doesn't have much surface area for there to be changed. I feel like if they were going to go this route, this lazy route of just repainting all the, or some of the existing race and rescue characters, just completely like invert the designs. Like instead of blue being the secondary color, make that the main color. Like make Mater like that bright blue and then make the side view mirrors red and do the same thing for Kathy. Like just make everything look super different. And at the end of the day, they are just easy repaints, just like inverted colors. Like make Sally a navy blue, make the stripes the light blue. Like I think that would look better. It would be more eye-catching to me, but whatever. All right, I have a couple prototypes of these that I want to show you guys real quick. I thought I was kind of getting screwed because I really didn't know how different they were going to be. So here's Kathy Copter. Now, I was told, I guess this looks like a prototype for the Thailand version. This might be a new Chinese version of her. Yeah, so it says made in China. So yeah, this would be a prototype for the new China variant of Race and Rescue Kathy that I said is like the rarest single of the year. I'm not kidding about that, guys. But yeah, no date stamp there. Broken rotor in the back. Look how pink. Look at that pink around the headset there. And then a little Sharpie writing for whatever reason. Oh, I did want to mention that the logo on the hat's now like a very bright green. Okay, so cool little Kathy Copter prototype, but that's not it. I have this, which looks super weird, but this shows you exactly what part of her is die-cast metal. And that's all that's die-cast metal on her. Everything else you see is plastic. The microphone, the rotors, all of it. And yeah, like I said with Luigi and Guido, they did kind of give these a little bit more of a metallic, shiny paint. So grateful to have gotten these prototypes. But yeah, I really didn't know. I was like, do I really want these? Like, what are these even? And I'm glad I did now, because since the lines come out, you know, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, it's cool to kind of see how metallic they actually went with the paint, and then it just kind of gets hidden with some of these not so great looking decals. All right, I have a prototype here of Guido. Again, this is probably for the new China variant in whatever case or cases he was in this year. I think case E. No date stamp. Little Sharpie writing on the back there. And nothing too crazy for him. But again, I have the metal body, and that's it. Just the metal body. And you can see the blue metallic. Looks quite good. Reminds me a little bit of the Pixar Fest versions of Luigi and Guido. Obviously to a lesser extent. But yeah, I do vibe with these. And I have the same thing with Mr. Luigi. His prototype's a little bit more significant, with the piece of tape slapped over the front. Yeah, unfortunately, these are a little chipped up. But hey, that's a prototype. Checks out. Yeah, so this is also for the new Chinese version. I kind of thought they might be for this sideline, but they're just for like the regular Race and Rescue versions that came out earlier in the year as singles. Cool. All right, then. Where is he? Where's my guy? Oh my God, so much on my table. The body in just metallic mucus. So beautiful. Yeah. Gives you a different perspective, I guess. And I do have that for red. And again, it's funny. It really goes to show you, like, there is not much die-cast metal on these cars anymore. Like, this is all that's die-cast metal on red. And maybe it's more than you thought, because you didn't know all this metal protrude into the back, which is concealed and covered in plastic. But yeah, one thing I did want to show you with red is that this hose accessory perfectly kind of clips in right there, and basically is like a power-up for red. It's actually kind of cool. I did not know that. They don't advertise that on the box. You just got to put 2 and 2 together, I guess, which, all right, I'm not that smart. So, cool. Got somewhere to put the accessory of him that's not my table. I got a shell for Mater here. Look at the teeth in red. That's pretty cool, actually. Since that's not a decal, that's something that they actually have to paint. Some of these, you know, most of the stuff that you see, like the logos and all that, those are decals. But the teeth are actually painted white. And last but maybe least is going to be a Lightning McQueen shell here. Didn't get a Sally, didn't get a Sarge. A Sarge would have been cool because it would just be like the lime green part. So it would look super weird. Sally's would look quite a bit more normal. But yeah, I didn't see those offered. All right, guys, wait, Mr. Docket. The most important thing, Kathy's accessory. We forgot to touch on that. Okay, so here it is. And it does look quite a bit different from the Demolition Derby fire barrels that we have gotten in the past. So the flame is opaque. You can't see through it, whereas before they were translucent in some extent. The barrel is a kind of a brighter blue, basically matches the same color as the blue on Kathy. It is a bendy flame, where some of these ones are very bendy. This one's a little stiffer. So at least you get, there's a lot of variants of these. This is exactly what I needed in my life, is another fire barrel. Well, this one was completely hollow. All these other ones have like little tabs inside. Oh, what the hell, Mr. Docket. Fun stuff all around. Fire barrels and fire hydrants and fire extinguishers and fire cones and fire itself. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Just kind of a fun video to touch on this stuff. And hopefully I never do another race and rescue video again. Just kidding. I would welcome it, like if it's a good product. And some of these, I don't mind. But see, as you can see, I can't even tell what's what. I put the wrong Guido out there. Really just excited about the fire extinguisher here because of the silver head on it. I will see you guys next time for another video. Thanks as always for watching. Bye now.